Hello, this is DKR Ziamaro, and today I'm going to be giving you some tips on shooting and aiming in Counter-Strike Global Offensive. I got the idea from Grin and Donks, who were talking about it on the forums. This is my first time ever doing a tutorial video, so you'll have to bear with me as I am a terrible teacher. So to do some of the things that I'm going to be talking about, first of all, you want to go to play and offline with bots. You can go to pretty much any map you want here, but I'm going to go with Dust 2, as everyone knows that map quite well. Just go with that, and it should start off on medium bots, but what you want to do is change that to no bots for the purposes of this tutorial. Loading. Okay, so you'll want to go to terrorists to begin with and buy an AK-47. I can't remember if I mentioned, but this is in deathmatch mode, which gives you unlimited bullets, which is quite helpful. So I started in quite a good place here because this was one of the things I wanted to show you. One of the big things with Counter-Strike is pre-shooting and predicting where people might be. So one of those examples, and this has been shown in another tutorial, so people who've seen that will find this quite familiar. What you want to do all the time is always be having your crosshair where the enemy's head is going to be. So you see a lot of people walking around like this. So as soon as they see someone, they have to jump up and aim at their head. So what you want to do is to change that is to keep it level with the head, so they almost walk into your crosshair. So if someone came out there like that, it would just go straight into their head, rather than, you know, it's just a split-second difference, but that's what makes the big difference here. Instead of having to go, it's just you're already there. And another thing that you'll want to do is try and keep your crosshair level with where a head might come out as you're going around a corner. So see, as I'm walking, I'm always keeping my crosshair where a head might pop out. So as I go around the corner, I go like that. I mean, my aim's a bit shaky, but you know, it's something you got to practice. And as you can see, like as I'm walking around, and I do, if you watch any of my games, you'll see that I do this all the time. I'm constantly keeping my crosshair where people's heads will be. Anyway, enough about that. I'll show you some little tricks. Like I say, it's all about predicting where someone might be. In other games, you know, that are more twitchy, it's you know, you have to be very quick with your reactions, and it's sort of the same here, but it's more important to know hiding spots. Like, you know, in Dust 2, someone might be hiding there or there. And you know, if you find this tutorial useful, I can always do some more, and I can go through all the different maps and show hiding spots. One of the popular hiding spots is here, so you know, someone who's defending here, they'll want to keep their crosshair about there, which is where a head will come out. And if your reactions are good, then you'll put it there, or you know, it really depends. Anyway, one of the other things I wanted to show you was about spray control. Now this is something that I wouldn't recommend if you're still quite new to the game, as spraying in this game just isn't that great. Unless you know how to control it, but I'd recommend starting off with bursts and just quick taps like that. As you can see, even that is not that accurate. So what you want to do here is press escape, go to options, game settings, and enable the developer console, which allows you to press the button next to your 1 key to bring the console up, and do this SV underscore show impacts 1, and what that does is shows where you're shooting, which is quite useful. So if I show you what the spray pattern looks like on the AK-47, you'll notice it kind of goes up, slightly to the left, a lot to the right, and then back to the left, and then back to the right again. It's but it forms a bit of a sort of T shape. So before you spray, you really want to get control of these spray patterns. So what you'll notice is first 2 shots go straight on like that, and then the third one goes slightly up, so you want to start adjusting for that. But like I say, don't bother spraying until you know that you've got your spray patterns down. The AK-47 is a particularly hard one to use because the spray pattern, as you can see, is pretty massive even at that distance, but you know, if you go a bit further back, that's pretty crazy. But it is a one-shot headshot even when they have a helmet, which is why it's one of the harder guns to use in the game, but it is the best gun in the game, in my opinion. And in a lot of other people's opinions as well, I think. So something that you'll want to... This is a mistake that I see a lot of people making when they're new to the game, and it's understandable because in any other shooter, you know, moving and shooting isn't as penalised as it is in Counter-Strike. So watch what happens when I run and shoot. You're not going to hit anything doing that. Compared to... Now, if you walk, it's not quite as bad, but you're still not going to hit much. So just don't move and shoot, ever. Like, you're just not going to hit anything. I've noticed a lot of people crouch and move. That sort of works, but you're not moving very fast, so I don't really see much of a purpose in doing that. So what you want to do is quick bursts and then move. One of the few times where I might run and shoot is if, say, I'm coming around here, I see someone there, I shoot, they're coming after me, and I keep running and shooting because, you know, I want to keep moving, but you never know, you might hit them, but you probably won't. But why not? Okay, so I'm now going to show you counter-terrorists. The M4 is a lot easier to use. It requires 2 shots to the head for a kill when they have a helmet, so if you've got good aim, it's not as good of a weapon as the AK, but if you look at the spray pattern, not nearly as big, so it's a lot easier to control. Now, my side-to-side spray control isn't great, so I tend to just stick to bursts like that. There's a lot of stuff about M4 versus the silence M4. I prefer the M4 without the silencer, simply because it has more bullets. There are lots of advantages to using the silence M4, which I'll show you now. If I go to inventory, where is it? There it is. And kill myself. And then I'll respawn with a silence M4 and show you sort of how much smaller the spray pattern is with this. Absolutely tiny. So for a beginner, this is a pretty good weapon because it doesn't require nearly as much control. But it only has 20 bullets, so you shoot someone, you manage to get a kill, and you're on 6 bullets, so you have to reload, which doesn't happen quite as often with the unsilenced M4. Something I see quite a lot is people taking the silencer off like this. And it does increase the spray pattern slightly, but you've still got the small amount of bullets. Apparently it increases the damage slightly, but I don't really feel like it's a worthwhile trade-off. Like, if you're going to use the M4 silencer without the silencer, I just think go for the non-silenced M4 to begin with. Because one of the main advantages to using the silencer is more than just the spray pattern. I mean, it doesn't make a big difference, as you can see, but is the fact that you don't come up on the minimap when you're shooting, which is very useful depending on your style of play. If you're a lurker like me, then the silence M4 can be quite useful. If you like to, but I didn't explain lurking there. It's getting into sort of places where people just don't expect you to be. You know, like maybe here or something like that. People aren't always going to expect, well, it's a fairly common spot, but I'm rambling. I'm a rambler. So I think that will do for now. And if you like the tutorial, let me know and I can do some more. I'll try and keep them shorter next time. But thanks for watching.